70% of young people aged between 18 and 24 are considering moving abroad.
Last year, more than 21,000 Irish citizens were granted Australian working holiday visas.
I graduated in October and I've been trying to find a graduate job, and it's so hard. It's so hard to find somewhere to...
Imagine a country so rich that no one wants to live in it. Wouldn't it be a paradox? Well, that's where Ireland found itself today. Ireland is a beautiful country, well known for its vibrant culture, stunning landscapes, and a booming economy. Naturally, a thriving economy should make people prosperous and happy, and even cause more people to migrate to benefit from its prosperity, as happens in many developed economies worldwide. However, this is not the case for Ireland. More than half of its population is waiting for the next opportunity to leave and never wants to return. Interestingly, many of these populations are young, essential to any vibrant economy. Despite being the wealthiest country in Europe, many people are not happy. This video shows why no one wants to live in Europe's most prosperous nation. Before now, specifically in the 1980s and 2000s, Ireland was an impoverished country with an underdeveloped economy that depended on aquarian activities and trade in agro-products with the UK for survival. Soon, something significant happened. Ireland became a member of the EU, an economic bloc with a single market for member states. That means certain restrictions that could initially be in place are relieved, and companies, wherever they may reside within the EU, only pay tax to the country where they reside while having access to the European market. Ireland seized these opportunities to launch its economic boom. Ireland rose from a poor country that had suffered famine in the past and a brutal war with the British, which caused a significant decline in its population and destroyed most of its infrastructure, to becoming Europe's wealthiest country. The founders of the EU must have thought deeply about taxes on business to have gracefully allowed companies to do business without being burdened by taxes as they cross borders within the bloc. But Ireland took it a notch further. Knowing that the country in which a company resides in the EU reaps from the profit in taxes, it decided to bring taxes to as low as 12.5% to attract companies. And this strategy worked well, as it thought. However, more was needed to bring Ireland where it is today, as other countries can quickly lower their taxes to achieve the same thing. The decision to build the Shannon International Airport in 1959 and make it a free trade zone attracted many companies. Also, being English-speaking with an educated population and strategically located between the US and EU with zero customs duties on imports from outside the EU allows it to wreck 3.3 billion euros yearly. Big companies in the USA began to choose Ireland as their official residence, knowing they would keep a chunk of their profits with low taxes and other subsidies. I mean, that's what every business wants, right? To make more profit, this was an opportunity for companies to make more money. At the same time, Ireland took just a tiny portion of it in tax. This way, Ireland soon became the wealthiest country in Europe, richer than Switzerland and Norway, with a steady economic growth of 9 to 10% yearly. Even after becoming wealthy, people still do not want to stay in Ireland and leave in droves. The most troubling thing is that people are going and don't want to stay in a rich country. But while is this happening, the reality is that Ireland is as wealthy as we thought it would be. Although all economic indicators point out how pretty good Ireland is performing, the realities on the ground speak differently. Lots of people are unhappy with the situation in Ireland, and it is so bad that 7 out of 10 Irish want to leave and never want to return. There is a good reason why they are this dissatisfied, one of which is the housing crisis. A survey carried out in 2022 showed a little above 800 houses available for rent in the entire country. The housing situation is so critical that you often find depressing scenes of thousands of people queuing in the streets in places like Dublin, and taking turns to check out a single vacant apartment that is expensive and accessible to only a few. Well, you may say this is common among developed economies, given the pressure of a working population flocking to the cities and the need to accommodate them, but Ireland's quite different, and it looks like self-sabotage, a deliberate attempt to make houses unavailable for a teeming population. A combination of government policies that frown at any developer building dense urban houses and the ease with which anyone can put a stop to such building makes the housing situation even worse. However, the housing crisis is just one of the many problems Ireland is faced with. Another reason why most people do not want to live in Ireland is because critical infrastructure like roads and essential basic amenities are poorly managed. Although after its War of Independence from the British, it was able to rehabilitate important infrastructure to support the economy, their maintenance is poor, and building new ones appears impossible. Also, national healthcare systems are underfunded and overwhelmed. They are almost broken, with many healthcare workers looking elsewhere in Europe for better opportunities and compensation. The fact that Ireland's economy depends on foreign direct investment, FDI, opens it up to many external risks. That is, if there is a global crisis that affects most of these foreign companies in Ireland, it will take a significant toll on its economy. So it happened during the global financial crisis of 2008. Still, Ireland weathered the storm by further lowering taxes to nearly 0%, attracting tech giants like Apple and Microsoft. And soon, Ireland was doing better than everyone, becoming the Silicon Valley in Europe. It achieved this economic miracle and touted the Celtic Tiger of Europe. Its GDP grew from 2.2% to 49.2%, which is enormous. Economically speaking, Ireland is wealthy, given that the performance of a country is related to GDP, and companies like Microsoft and Apple are massive enough to inflate the GDP figures. However, all of this growth is on paper and does not reflect what is really happening. A situation economists described as the Leprechaun Economy. As we said earlier, Ireland is not as rich as it seems. Looking away from these statistics, it starts becoming clearer what it is. Most of these companies consider Ireland because it is a haven to shield their profits from taxation while moving their massive gains. That means most of its profits go into Ireland, sit a while in the Irish bank, and go out without actively going into the Irish economy, where it is used for production or building new factories to create more employment and benefit the ordinary Irish people. The worst part is that the economic model adopted by Ireland has denied its people the funds they need to build critical infrastructure and basic amenities to support the local economy. This has pushed Ireland to seek bailout funds to stay afloat, piling up its already humongous national debt. Still, its massive debt is hidden behind magical accounting that obscures it from the public eye using the GDP to debt ratio. But going deeper away from mere cosmetic dressing, you would find it is in massive debt. Also, most employees in these big tech companies are not Irish. They come from abroad and earn massive salaries, while the vast majority of the local population working in the domestic economy that contributes to the country's wealth earns less than those in the tech companies. This creates a situation where per capita income, which is the amount of money a people in a country have to be disproportionate to those in the tech. Like the tech companies, the employees in these companies also move most of their income out of Ireland through repatriation to home countries and spending a little for their necessities, somehow contributing to the hyperinflation in the country, making life in Ireland too expensive for the common Irish person, forcing many Irish to rely on social welfare. So the people of Ireland have gained little to nothing from all the economic activities happening despite its high GDP, leaving the country poor. How long would authorities in Ireland keep on with this economic strategy, which only makes it look wealthy on the charts without trickling down to the ordinary people? Well, the discussions are changing quickly as more and more people are becoming aware of these realities hidden behind statistics for years and demanding a change. Now, if authorities in Ireland heed these calls for change, which may lead to higher taxes on these big companies and the removal of those economic subsidies most of the companies have enjoyed for years, would they still be willing to stay and do business in Ireland? While we are waiting to see how the government in Ireland deals with this and restores public confidence in the country, be sure to subscribe for more exciting videos like this one and hit the thumbs up if you have come this far with us. Thanks for watching and see you again.